I'm excited about this one. This is a rap battle. This is Fear the Boom and Bust. JMK versus F.A. Hayek. John Maynard Keynes and F.A. Hayek, both of economic fame. So I'm probably like the only person excited about this.
No, I'm interested.
No, I'm interested. I'm interested.
So, I mean, this is an economist rap battle.
It is an
I mean, this is an ERB.
This is, and I forget who actually produced this. I found out about it on an article from Foundation for Economic Education.
EconStories.
Okay.
So yeah, I've actually subscribed to them now, and I was super excited about this. I'm kind of a nerd when it comes to this thing, but yeah, this thing has been going on. I mean, people have been arguing about this for like 100 years now.
I mean, which makes it a great target for a rap battle.
I think so too.
Oh yeah.
I mean, Keynes' general theory is kind of like the prevailing economic treatise accepted by pretty much every modern state. And Hayek is kind of like, forgive me, the redheaded stepchild of the
Oh boy.
Obviously, though, this is slanted. I can tell you, like this is produced by people that are pro-Austrian economics.
Okay.
Therefore, they will come down on the side of Hayek.
Okay.
All right, but I'm still interested to see how they handle this.
I think rightly so. But yeah, so it's probably going to be slanted.
All right, so I think in this situation, instead of picking who we think is going to win, let's watch it and pick a winner.
Okay. I think that'd be good.
I think that's for the best.
I think
history has kind of already proven the winner. I mean, the Keynesian philosophy sort of dominates. Economic and political theory.
Yeah.
But let's see about the rap battle itself.
Okay.
Because we have to judge these solely on the rap battle.
Yeah.
So,
all right.
So let's fire it up.
Micah, there we go.
Yep. Good.
Lord Keynes, welcome, sir. It's a pleasure.
The pleasure's all mine.
Your agenda.
That won't be necessary. I am the agenda. Tell them I've arrived.
And then tell them I've arrived.
And your name is?
Hayek?
Those mustaches are
F.A.
great.
Hayek. With an H.
Huh. You kidding me?
Freddie.
Yep.
Keynes,
Hey, listen, party at the Fed.
Already?
20 minutes.
Lobby. John Maynard Keynes.
Oh, F.A. Hayek.
Yeah, we're opposed.
We oppose each other philosophically.
In the same studio.
We've been going back and forth for a century.
I want to steer markets.
I want them set free. There's a boom and bust cycle and good reason to fear it. Blame low interest rates.
No, it's the animal spirits. John Maynard Keynes wrote the book on modern macro. The man you need when the economy's off track. Depression, recession, now your question's in session. Have a seat and I'll school you in one simple lesson. Boom, 1929, the big crash. We didn't bounce back, economy's in the trash. Persistent unemployment, the result of sticky wages. Waiting for recovery? That's outrageous. I had a real plan, any fool can understand. The advice real simple, boost aggregate demand. CIG altogether gets to Y. Keep that total growing, watch the economy fly.
We've been going back and forth for a century.
I want to steer markets.
I want them set free. There's a boom and bust cycle and good reason to fear it. Blame low interest rates.
No, it's the animal spirit. You see, it's all about spending. Hear the register cha-ching. Circular flow, the dough is everything. So if that flow is getting low, doesn't matter the reason. We need more government spending. Now it's stimulus season, so forget about saving. Get it straight out of your head. Like I said, in the long run, we're all dead. Savings is destruction, that's the paradox of thrift. Don't keep money in your pocket or that growth will never lift. Because business is driven by the animal spirits. The bull and the bear, and there's reasons to fear its effects on capital investment, income, and growth. That's why the state should fill the gap with stimulus, both the monetary and the fiscal. they're equally correct. Public works, digging ditches, war has the same effect. Even a broken window helps the glass man have some wealth, the multiplier driving higher the economy's health. And if the central bank's interest rate policy tanks, a liquidity trap, that new money stuck in the banks. Deficits could be the cure you've been looking for. Let the spending soar now that you know the score. My general theories made quite an impression. Revolution! I transformed the econ profession. You know me, modesty, still I'm taking a bow. So say it loud and say it proud, we're all Keynesians now.
We've been going back and forth for a century.
I want to steer markets.
I want them set free. There's a boom and bust cycle and good reason to fear it.
I've made my case, Freddie H. Listen up, can you hear it?
I'll begin in broad strokes, just like my friend Keynes. His theory conceals the mechanics to change. That simple equation, too much aggregation, ignores human action and motivation. Yet it continues as a justification for bailouts, payoffs by polls with machinations. You provide them with cover to sell us a free lunch. Then all that we're left with is debt and a bunch. If you're living high on that cheap credit hog, don't look for a cure from the hair of the dog. Real savings come first if you want to invest. The market coordinates time with interest. Your focus on spending is pushing on Fred. In the long run, my friend, it's your theory that's dead. So sorry there, buddy, if that sounds like invective. Prepare to get schooled in my Austrian perspective. We've been going back and forth for a century.
I want to steer markets.
I want them set free. There's a boom and bust cycle and good reason to fear it.
I want a
Play
guy
low
to
interest
run
rates.
It's the animal spirits.
The place you should study isn't the bust, it's the boom that should make you feel leery. That's the thrust of my theory. The capital structure is key. Malinvestments wreck the economy. The boom gets started with an expansion of credit. The Fed sets rates low. Are you starting to get it?
Ben
That money
and
is
Tim.
confused for real
Bernanke
loanable
and
funds.
Geithner.
But it's
Yep.
just
Dick
inflation
bags.
that's driving the ones who invest in new projects like housing construction. The boom plants the seeds for its future destruction. The savings aren't real, consumption's up too, and the grasping for resources reveals there's too few. So the boom turns to bust as the interest rates rise. Where the cost of production price signals relies. The boom was a binge, that's a matter of fact. Now it's devalued capital that makes up the slack. Whether it's the late 20s or 2005, booming bad investments seems like they'd thrive. You must save to invest, don't use the printing press, or a bust will surely follow, an economy depressed. Your so-called stimulus will make things worse. Just more of the same, more incentives perverse. And that credit crunch ain't a liquidity trap, just a broke banking system. I'm done, that's a wrap. We've been going back and forth for a century.
I want to steer markets.
I want them set free. There's a boom and bust cycle and good reason to fear it. Play low interest rates.
It's the animal spirits. The
That's pretty
ideas
good.
of economists and political philosophers, both when they are right and when they are wrong, are more powerful than is commonly understood. Indeed, the world is ruled by little else. Practical men who believe themselves to be quite exempt from any intellectual influence are usually the slaves of some defunct economist.
The curious task of economics is to demonstrate to men how little they really know about what they imagine they can design.
They've been going back and forth for a century.
Okay.
That's pretty good. Oh yeah, it's got a solid beat to it.
Yeah,
It's good.
I think so. I liked it.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I mean, obviously, like they're slanted, like they are pro-Austrian, but that pretty much was just a summation of their respective theories.
Well, yeah, and okay, the stab that they made at Bernanke and Geithner.
Oh,
I
man,
was
yeah.
like, oh boy,
Ooh.
wow. It
was a
does
good-
show
it's a
it does
good
show
jab.
you that there are no safeguards against human consumption. There are no safeguards, and no matter what the government wants to put in place, the truth is you shouldn't put all the eggs in one basket. Like
yeah.
the Fed does. The Fed puts everyone's eggs in one basket and says, "Oh, this side's doing bad. Well, here's a stimulus." And then what's that stimulus done? Nothing.
They even tipped
Yeah.
Bernanke and Geithner.
Yep. Yep.
Yes.
They flat out say it. Wow.
There you go. Very nice.
Well, it's interesting, and I think a lot of what it boils down to, of course, in the chorus, you know, Keynes, he wants to steer markets, and Hayek, he
We want
to
them set free.
And really, the only way you can try to steer a market is with the institution of central banking. And so that's what the Fed does, predominantly by artificially manipulating interest rates.
There you go.
And the printing of currency.
Yep.
And of course, I mean, they're essentially devaluing the currency already in circulation because it's illegal to pass anything else off as currency.
Right.
So the Fed essentially is involved in legal counterfeiting of its own currency. But
Yeah, that's about right.
There you go. Yeah.
So essentially, those are pretty much the mechanisms you have to steer markets. The idea behind it being that on the Keynesian side of things, all recessions are bad, so they have to be mitigated somehow. But the only tools they have to mitigate them really end up making them worse in the long run. I mean, it's like, it's avoiding a hangover by having more drinks, basically.
Yeah.
Or actually, they use the alcohol example. I mean, that metaphor was heavily used. What I always tell people is actually like heroin.
There you go. That's
You need
more
and
accurate.
More heroin to maintain the same level of high, but eventually your heart's just going to stop. Whereas going cold turkey, essentially just letting interest rates skyrocket and letting the market course correct would be the right thing to do, albeit severely painful.
Yeah.
And so that's, from the Austrian perspective, is things have to fail. But if you let them fail, things will correct themselves and it won't be as bad like your 2008 levels bad.
You heard the term. We've all heard the term "too big to fail."
Right.
Too big to fail. I hate to say this, but those banks weren't too big to fail. They failed themselves. They failed themselves by willingly inflating the market, and not only that, but also lying about the health of the CDOs, lying about the health of the market. All of these ratings agencies giving out AAA and 2A ratings, and instead of giving them what they legitimately are, triple B or the worst of ratings.
Yeah.
And it eventually, you see, there's a movie I think you all should see. It's not completely it's Micah. I know you'll tear it to pieces because it's a little bit statist with its conclusion.
To be fair, everything is a little statist. I mean, I just sort of deal with it.
But okay, the movie's called The Big Short.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard about it. I haven't seen it, but a lot of people have written pieces on it, like on Fee and Mises and things.
Yeah.
And it seems like it'd be worth watching.
Oh, it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah,
It is. It's a very good watch. It and it explains what happened very well. Because what the bankers did for the longest time is that they threw the wool over people's eyes with terms they didn't understand, overcomplicating things to try and make people think, oh, we're the only ones who can do this.
Legalese.
Yeah.
That's pretty much that's kind of the key to the kingdom that Keynes gave everyone, is the fact that basically the state has to steer markets. People can't be accountable to themselves. So it goes back to this.
Yep.
Yeah, and I watched it, and it's got some really good people in it, but their conclusion they reach, I'm just like, no, come on, go deeper than that. The problem, you're not looking at the problem. You're looking at putting another problem in there to fix the problem that you think can be solved by throwing this at it, or instead of just letting things fall where they may, which I think should have happened with the economic crash. I think you should have let the banks fall out. You should have let all that happen, because honestly, and if there was a stimulus, it should have gone to the American people and not the banks, because the banks bailed themselves out, signed themselves big bonuses, and then when they filed for bankruptcy, and the government asked, "Where's the money at?" It's like, "Oh, we went bankrupt. We don't know."
You know exactly where that money
Oh,
went.
it did. Oh, yeah, we do. I think everyone does. But to me, it was a good movie, really good watch. But this is going to have to be a thing, because from what I'm seeing, there's a few of these.
I know there's a second one.
Round 2. Okay.
Yep, there's round 2.
thing is, like, the way they presented it too. There's a lot of metaphor because honestly, like in this fight, Hayek is the nerd. I mean, Austrian economics is not mainstream at all. Like,
Right.
Keynesian philosophy dominates modern state-run economies, and by necessity, because modern states all kind of hinge on operating by use of a central bank.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is, like, in Austrian school, I mean, they don't need a central bank, so no one's really going to implement it.
Yeah.
Because it's just the market. Competing. In Austrian economics, there's a big push for literally like competing currencies and banks minting their own currency and competing, like, because really, actual real money is a market commodity. It's just like
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so if it's not limited by scarcity, it's just you get crazy booms and busts that.
Yep.
It's sort of interesting. I think in the Keynesian side of things, a lot of people come down looking at the economy like it's the zero sum fallacy. It's like there's a pie and you can only get so much of it, and it's really hard to grow the pie. And it's not like that from the Austrian perspective. We can grow the economy, so one person isn't losing when someone else is getting more.
Yeah.
And Keynesian philosophy, it does deter savings. They see spending as what as long as currency is circulating in the economy, that's a sign of a healthy economy. Austrians look on spending or saving very favorably, because that's really all you can do to invest later. But with the way they print currency under modern central bank planning, it really deters saving. So they really are. They really are pretty much. They come down on opposites on everything. And you'll see. Pretty much, if you start looking into it, Keynes is the king everywhere.
Yeah. Well, I think someone who's picked up the reins and has kind of taken it to a whole new level, and I despise the guy, Jean-Claude Junckers. You ever heard of him, Micah? He is pretty much the economic commissioner of the EU.
Oh, okay.
Oh
And
boy.
yeah, he's pretty much taking everything that Keynes has done to a whole new level, and is doing like the EU central banking. He's the chairman of it, and he pretty much runs it all. And I know how you feel about that.
Yeah, that's the thing is like all this stimulus spending, to try and ward off recessions, it doesn't work.
When in history has it ever worked?
Well, people blame it because they brought up 1929, the Great Depression.
Mm-hmm.
People blame a lot of different things for that. One of the best books anyone can actually read is by Henry Hazlitt, Economics in One Lesson, because he actually mentions the broken window fallacy, broken window theory. My side, we call it fallacy.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's the idea of seen cost versus unseen cost. So a lot of Keynesians believe that, like, if a window breaks, that's an increase in jobs because then you have to hire,
You have to hire somebody to replace
the
the.
glass maker or whatever.
Yeah.
They have to produce glass and then you have to have a repairman to fix it. But no one looks at the unseen cost of what you would have done, either save that money to invest later or spend it on something else.
Mm-hmm.
So there's kind of this back and forth of the idea of full production versus full employment. And so the idea of full employment was put into place with a lot of public works like the New Deal
Yeah.
around the time of the Great
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, and that's the thing. You hear all the time, employment's up. And they fudge numbers and they want to make it sound good. Look, I can go out and I can get everyone a job. I can have full employment. Like, they'll be digging ditches with a shovel, but they'll be employed. But that's not full production. Because you can have 100 guys dig a ditch with shovels and have full employment. We have one guy with a backhoe to dig the ditch.
Yeah.
And that's closer to full production.
Yeah.
And this stuff has gone back and forth for literally like 100 years now.
But yeah, honestly, I for the longest time I wasn't sure about economics and everything. I assumed it was too broad for me to wrap my head around, and then eventually.
See, I really don't deal well with hard numbers. come from more the philosophical side of it.
Mm-hmm.
I would encourage anyone to read Human Action by Ludwig von Mises, because I mean, you can crunch a lot of numbers and things, but for the most part, what they propose is just individual accountability, because the market is so broad and so vast. Just let everyone coordinate their own corner of the market, and through competition, they'll either succeed or fail. And honestly, there's room for a lot of competition, so most times both parties will succeed.
Yep.
And that's the thing. It's really, to me, on a philosophical level, it is human freedom versus just the epitome of arrogance by central planners. And of course, by trying to steer the economy, you're taking away accountability from the individual. Or, like you said, like with our whole banking crisis, if banks are insured by the Fed, and when things go bad, they're just going to start handing out stimulus money. It's like, why would you feel accountable for anything?
Yeah.
There is no accountability because none of them went to jail.
Yeah.
Because they committed a crime. They lied. They lied to the American people, and they lied to the U.S. government, and for that they should be reprimanded. They should be punished. Instead, there was only 1 or 2 people that got punished for it. That's it, and everyone else walked. Why? Oh, they're too big to fail.
I think I'll stick to quantum mechanics.
Well, and that's my thing. Is really what a lot of what I enjoy about the Austrian school is that it recognizes the limitations imposed by physics.
Yep.
Because really Austrians are the only ones that really respect scarcity.
I didn't know I was going to give him another point.
Yeah,
Well, there you go.
All right. No, we're going with this.
It's like you understand that basically, the human desire for consumption is unlimited, but we live in a finite universe.
Correct.
Yes, 100%.
You have to coordinate, based on availability of resources, and basically that's price signals indicate, how to allocate things.
Huh.
That's honestly in Mises' text it's on socialism. It's called socialism. That's why he says socialism always fails, because if you try to centrally plan an economy, you don't have appropriate price signals for resource allocation, and that's why socialism will always fail.
Okay.
That's interesting.
It's that simple.
It's very interesting.
Well, there you go.
Well, yeah. Oh, man. I think it's the most you've ever talked in a video, Micah.
It's exhausting. I don't talk a lot.
Yeah. Mike is probably not going to talk the rest of the night.
These comments are going to get ridiculous because, seriously, this has been going on for 100 years, and we live in a Keynesian world. Like, he's the king. Like, Hayek, Mises, those guys are the nerds.
Well, they're gaining ground bit by bit.
It's an uphill battle.
Well, thanks to YouTube, people can get their views out more easily.
Much
like Micah,
easier.
for example.
Because honestly, you never really heard a lot about Mises back when FDR was having his fireside chats. You just had FDR on the radio, and that's what you listened to.
Yeah. And now people can go out and look for information and have it be delivered by people who understand it, but people who can manage to explain it, like this guy.
Seriously, I'm going to stop talking because I can go on for a while, but seriously, Hayek is great. Fatal Conceit, and especially The Road to Serfdom are great. But really, what I kind of wish they would have done is Ludwig von Mises, because Mises is kind of the one that changed Hayek's mind about a lot of this stuff. And just go read about Ludwig von Mises' life. It's amazing.
Okay.
Everything he went through.
Okay.
And I will shut up about it.
There you go. Renegade homework.
Anybody else? Anything?
Nah, I'm good.
I have. I'm sorry for dominating the conversation.
No,
This is something
it's
I'm
fine.
Really excited about.
Dude, no, it's fine.
It's fine, dude. That's what we want. We want you to be
I
excited.
love getting you talking about stuff like this because it's fascinating.
Super glad we did this. And there are at least 2 people in the comment section from our Trump Hillary rap battle that requested this. So
And Micah was requesting this even before that.
Yeah, well, I brought it up, and then somebody mentioned it in the comments, and I was like,
well, yeah.
well,
I mean, to be fair, Nate and I were already like, we've got to do this.
Yeah,
And
we
then-
do.
And then the comment section was like, well, we're doing it.
Well, here we go.
America.
a handful of them. So,
Well, actually, not America because that's status.
well, it's
Whatever. Anyway.
all right. So I guess that's got it for this one. Hopefully we'll be back sometime soon with the second one.
Yep.
Hopefully you enjoyed this. I'm sure
It's gonna be a joy.
But thank you for
Oh,
watching.
wait a minute.
What?
How long is the video so far? How long are we at right there?
25 minutes.
Okay, all right. That's not our worst. All right.
No.
Okay.
I apologize.
No, that's fine. There's something I
Don't
do if the video
apologize.
goes too much longer than that. But anyway.
All right.
Thank you for watching. If you've been with us this long, I greatly appreciate it.
Mhm.
Tell me what you think. Please check our description for related content, and hopefully I will see you all very soon.